Well, we were quite late having a television set, and I've really never been a great television viewer.
No.
Never. But it does keep you up to date when you watch the news every day.
That's right. It's not.
And it keeps you up to date with everything that's going on. I can remember, what was the last party we had down in the celebration? It was the Queen's
Jubilee, was it? No, what was the last
77?
one?
1977, the 25th.
Oh, no,
that was
after that, wasn't
It was after that.
no.
Oh, Ben was alive, and Ben has died 3 years. So he was about 8.
2001? No, 2002
It's about-
or 3?
That's the one, because he would have been 8 or 9 then.
2002, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. What was that then?
Well, that would have been King George died in 52, didn't he? And then the Queen came to the throne in 52. But
It must have been her 50
the
go.
Queen's
but the coronation was actually 53. So
Yes.
It was then.
Yes.
Then.
Well, they had a big party down the bottom here, and they asked me to open it because I was the not the oldest, the longest resident of the estate.
Oh, right.
And I was nearly the second. And Harry Locke.
Yes.
I was next there, and there was no houses further.
I see, right.
No.
Right.
So I was on Harry Locke and the Allens, I think, Ruth and Terry Allen. They were here about the same time.
Yes.
There weren't many of us.
But there was a party on our road before that.
Yes.
The one before that.
That was in 77.
77, that was.
And they used my pull-in for the what's it in Judy show?
Punch and Judy.
Punch and Judy show.
Oh, it was a happy. And you know, the wonderful thing was everybody just wanted to give and participate, wouldn't they?
That's right.
Yeah, it was happy. And it was happy down the bottom road.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did well that time, didn't they?
I've enjoyed living on this estate very much. Yeah. We lived in Rodborough Hill, and we were in a big house with my mother-in-law in a flat. Mm-hmm. She died, and we had to let the flat to keep the house going. We didn't want to do that. And suddenly we heard they were going to build in Rodborough Fields, where our boys played cricket.
Right.
And where we used to walk through and bring the dog.
Yeah.
And I remember coming through here with the dog one night with my husband, and standing up there before all the houses were built, and I looked across, and we stood there looking at the view across Stroud, and I said, oh, wouldn't it be gorgeous to live here? Never ever dreaming that I would. And we're the first people to put money down on a house on this estate.
That's a lovely story.
And we were soon after you.
Yes.
Because I was living opposite down.
Yeah, I lived across the road in those days.
So who knows, you might be sitting on the very spot where you had a picnic so many years before, who knows?
Well, you don't know, but certainly where the boys all play cricket and football and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay, well that's been lovely. Anything else, or shall I press the button now?
Well, I'd just like to say that there's never been any trouble in Rodborough with children.
No, there hasn't.
Ever. No. I had 3 boys, and they had loads of friends around, but there was never any trouble.
No.
And never has been.
No. We've been lucky.
So the fact we never see a Bobby, as people used to say, doesn't seem to have mattered really.
No.
So even did you ever see a police? Would you ever see a policeman, say 50 years ago when you first?
No.
One night though, I can remember my husband always turned the car facing the right way, but the people on my side who would just come in like I do now and just park it. But it was facing the wrong way. One night, the policeman came round and gave people tickets, and that really aroused people's. But we never had anything. I don't think they were fined or anything, but it made you aware. But I still don't do it, but I do overnight. If I left my car overnight, I would put it facing going out because I'm the other side. Right. But I do remember that.
But it doesn't matter now. We've never had any problems.
Please touch wood. Don't let anything ever go wrong.
Yes. Well, we'll finish on that, saying that it's still a happy community today.
Yes.
It is a happy
It is.
here anyway.
Yes.
And you've been here some years, haven't you?
Well, yeah, that's I'm 1984, I think we moved in down.
Because I remember your two little girls tiny.
Yeah, it's 84, I think. Was it?
25 years ago.
Hang on, no, there's my 25th wedding anniversary in a week or so. No, it must have been 86, 85. We'll go 1985 we moved in. Charlotte was
that
born
is
there,
a long
86.
time.
Yes, my Canada's a long-term resident. Anyway, I better not interview myself, so I better turn this off now.
Well, thank you, Maisy. I'm glad you did, because I wouldn't have been able to.
Right, Maisy's going to tell us about the coronation of the Queen in 1953 and sharing a television. Yeah.
Well, nobody had televisions, very few people had televisions in those days, but Mary, who lived at the end of Rodborough Avenue, they had a television set, and because I knew Mary very well, she invited us and the boys along to watch it on the television, so I did watch it on television. But so many people didn't, of course, and then they all had a party up in the children all had a party up in the schoolroom afterwards.
Oh, right, yeah.
And our boys went.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maisy.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it too.
And he worked for Randall and Payne's for the rest of his life. He was manager of their office in Melksham, and then he came back to Stroud, and he was the head boss here. He's retired now.
And another son who trained as a vicar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've added that to the archive.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Ah.